Hi, I'm Jordan from Rozwell Kid, and this is Zero Platoon.
Platoon! Say hey!
I grew up in a musical household. My mom loves to sing, and my dad was a high school band director. Instruments were always in the house. I was going to band camp when I was a baby. I joined the band in middle school. I did a lot of theater in high school. Wanted to be an actor really bad. That was my goal before music. And I picked up the guitar my sophomore year of high school and started playing along to Green Day records and Weezer records in my room. That was my first dip into my music. Hey, this is for me. It's not what my parents are listening to or anything like that. Like Dookie was a big influence and made me want to pick up the guitar and learn how to play. Our junior high social studies teacher was also a DJ, and he would DJ all the school dances. And he had a copy of Dookie and his CDs you could go through and make requests. And I would always request Basket Case. And it got to the point where I requested it so much that he just told me to bring in a blank cassette and he'd make me a copy. So that's how I got Dookie for the first time. I never really thought it wasn't for me. I just never considered it an option because, I was still learning guitar. I'd never written a song before. This is in high school. And I guess I just never thought, hey, I should try to write a song or anything like that. And then when I went to college and I was learning the drums, I started writing my own songs. And it was a good creative outlet since I wasn't acting anymore in college. And I realized that being in a band kind of combines, my love for music and my love for performing. So it's two of my favorite feelings in the world. The first song I ever wrote, actual song, was about, it was called Arsonist. And it was about burning bridges with my ex-girlfriend. Yeah. I still think it was a decent song. Yeah, I listen back and the lyrics they just make me cringe. It's such bad, obvious cliche metaphor. I don't know. I wrote a song about a cat with a handle on it called Handle Cat, and it's just about this cat has a handle on its back and you can pick it up. I think that might be the best song I've ever written. I feel like I've learned how to temper down the absurdity a little bit. A lot of my early stuff was really absurd and stupid. I still like being dumb, and I like funny lyrics, and I like to laugh. But I feel like I've kind of gotten better at sandwiching it into actual heartfelt sentiment. And I think that appeals to me, that the combination of hey, this is some real shit, but also why not have a good time with it. There's a song on Too Shabby called Droner. There's not really any funny edge to that song, and I'm really proud of it. And Droner's about my late uncle, passed away a few years ago. He was the cool uncle, because he was into cool ass movies and cool ass music. And I don't know, I looked up to him a lot, and that song was just about the stories I've heard my mom tell about him sort of trying to figure out what he wanted to do with his life. I guess there was a story my mom told me where he just packed up and drove to LA to try to be a writer. I guess he got an apartment and bought a phone and then sent out a bunch of writing packets, samples. And when he never heard back from anybody, he just packed up and left. And I always thought that was kind of a bummer, just because he was a really funny, talented guy, and if he would have just stuck it out, maybe something really cool would have happened. And so I try to think about that and take that lesson and apply it in my life. If it's something you really want to do, give it a good try and give it some time, and I take that into account when I think about what I want to do, and if I hope to see results, don't get too impatient. Creeped Out is about I was experiencing a lot of panic and anxiety about every decision I'd ever made when I was trying to go to bed. And I noticed in the morning when I wake up, I would feel fine and it would be a cool day, and then when I lay down to go to bed, it's just thinking about something I said to somebody 3 years ago and really stressing out about it and not being able to sleep, or getting up and pacing the floor just because I made this decision. It comes and goes in waves. Like I don't know. Sometimes, like when I'm home, like when I'm on tour, it's not bad because we're busy. There's always something to do. But when I'm at home, sometimes I get a little wrapped up in my own head about that stuff. And like, that's why we have a song called "My Head" too, and it's about the exact same thing. Just about being like, I don't know, paralyzed with anxiety, basically. I certainly could do things like probably exercise, which I don't really do, or eat better. But yeah, I guess I don't know, just sort of just deal with it when it comes. I'm miserable for a little while and then feel okay later. When I write a song about it, it's just more like, I'm going through this right now. This is what I know right now. I'm gonna sing about it, you know? I don't think I'll ever stop writing songs just because I love it so much. I don't think I'll ever give up on it completely. I've never thought about, you know, we've all gone through phases, you know, where we're like, man, maybe it's not worth it to try to tour, you know. Not this year. This year's been really good, but before this, like, it's like, do I really want to drive 3 hours to Philly on a Wednesday and then drive home and go to work the next day? Like, why do I keep doing this, you know? So, but I'm glad we never gave up on it. I was listening to that new Alex G record, Beach Music, a lot before we left for this tour. I really liked that. And actually, it was cool. Like, I was going on walks at home, like along the highway and stuff, and like the leaves are starting to change, and it was cool. And I was feeling kind of like, it was like the longest stretch that we've been home since we were touring, and I don't have a job, so, and I was supposed to be writing music. I should have been writing. But I was just like, I don't know. I guess I just needed to like chill out for a while. So I would listen to that record and walk around, and it was pretty cool. I liked it a lot. It made me feel chill. I guess it just depends on how I'm feeling. Like if I want to relate to the music and sort of like have it mirror the way I feel, or if I'm trying to use it to pull me out of, you know, being bummed out, or I don't really know. Weird Al always cheers me up. Who wouldn't be cheered up by that?
The dim light can guide me. All these postmodern high beams run short on the old scene, but that new life we may be parted. We will never be broken hearted.
And I wasn't supposed to be a musician. Certainly wasn't supposed to be a punk musician with tattoos and stuff, you know. And I chose to be this and worked really hard at making it happen.